Hello everyone. Today we're going to be working in our little art journal that I got from Temu. This is the 3x5 or 5.5. The cover is. The pages are actually, isn't that pretty? 5 by 3 1/4. And the pages that come with this are these really thin. You can write on them, but they weren't so conducive for working on. So I just went and got some mixed media paper. I also have some watercolor card, and that's what we're going to use today. So let me get set up here and let me make sure I have everything where you can see it. And we'll get started. All right, I'm using the stamp sets that I got from Temu, and I'll be using some distress inks. I have Fired Brick, this is Victorian Velvet, and I have Rusty Hinge. And all I'm going to do is take them and put them over here. That's probably quite a bit, but that's all right. Just gonna put some down. Not too much of the red, because I'm trying to achieve more of a sunset effect. So I'll wet this. Let me pull you out just a little bit so you can see. I'll wet this some, let it move around. And what I might do is I'll wet a paintbrush so that it doesn't soak it up, and I'll swirl them a little bit so that I can get everything moving already. Let's see how that works. So I'm just going to lay the card down, not all the way because I need some clear space for the bottom. I'll let it run some, and then I'll come in and pick up more. But I'll add some after I get on here what I want. I just want to get this part with some color on it already. And I'll take my brush and pick some of this up and lay it in there because I don't want to waste it. And there's some pink I can put in there. And I'd have an old piece of towel. I'll just clean this up real quick. And before I dry this, I want to see where I want my moon. So I'll lay this down, grab my paintbrush, dab off just a little bit, and come up and pick up some of the ink so that when I put it down, I will have already bleached out the color. If you wait until it's dry, it's going to be a lot harder to pull up. I have learned this the hard way. There we go. I got some of my, it's just a piece of old trash that I cut circles on. All right, let me dry this. We'll be right back. Okay, and if I want to add more depth, I'll just come in, pick them up, and I just have an old makeup sponge, and I can dab in more color so that I have a little bit more depth in my color. Do I have red? Yeah, I've got red right here. And you just smooth it out. And I can grab some of the orange, add that in, and then what I'll do is I'll flip over my pink and I'll just blend that out. And I'll put some up here in the corner, come down here. I'll just grab a tiny corner of red, I'll pounce it off. And if I feel I need more pink, I'll just put some down on the mat. Let me close these up because I have a bad habit of not. And I'll take a paintbrush, wet it down some, and just come in and move it around. There. And I can put some in the corners, on the edge. Why not? I'll just clean that up. Now, I want some speckles, so the piece that I cut out from that, I'll put over my moon. And I'll take my brush and just throw some down on here. See if I need it elsewhere. Oops, that was a lot. So just pick it up before it gets too much. All right, the mottled effect there. I'm going to dry this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I still want to try to get some more pink in here. I'm just going to take a little mini makeup sponge. Hopefully this works out. Where I splattered the water, just going to throw some pink in there. I can put some down here. That's a little better. That's better. All right. Now, I need to work, I'll rinse that out later, on my ground. So, I can't afford a lot of fancy brushes, things like that. But I do have makeup brushes, and this is a old shaving one. This thing is neat. Let me find one. Hopefully Vintage Photo will work. We'll see. So all I do is pick it up and I just pounce it down in there, roll it around in there. It's picked up some. And I'm just going to add a little bit of my brown before I start layering my green. Very faint. I don't know, there you can barely see it, but it works. I just need a little bit. Let me try and move you in just a little more. There we go. So, I'll just do it a couple of times because I don't want it like absolutely perfectly covered. That's good, right there. Just a dusting in the back, basically. So now I will come in with these two. I got these at Dollar Tree. And yes, I finally pulled out my glass mat. I have torn pieces of paper, cardstock actually, because it's a little stronger, that I used to make my hills and valleys. I am making this page. I recently lost a good friend. They passed away. But we will all, I'm sure, see each other once again. So let me create my bottom here. And let me get up so I have mowed lawn and peeled paint. I don't have a whole lot of inks that are water reactive. They are expensive. So I think what I want to do is go with peeled paint first. Why not? And I'll figure out how I want my placement on here. I'll just pick one. It's no big deal. And let me try to pick up some ink. Hopefully this has some on there. Yes. And I just hold it and I just go around the edge to make some valleys or hills or whatever you want to call it. And then I'll move it over more this way so that I have the two. And I'll pick up more ink. Now I try to stay a lot closer to the edge on this one so that I don't go too much into here. I just want you to be able to see that there's difference. Okay. Now let's do this. I'll come down here. Where do I want this one? I'll go with this one. Why not? It's different. And I'll bring it down more. This time I'll do both. I'll come in with the peeled paint. And then I'll use mowed lawn. Oops, let's hope I'm in shot here. Let me move it up. Sorry about that. Lay that back down. I'll use some mowed lawn. Let me find where I was again. There. And I'll just go over this lightly. I really like these because the bristles are stiff enough to hold the ink. Now, I'm going to take what's left on my brush and just lightly blend. Just like that. Now I can come in. Let me move these out of the way. Excuse me. With some brushed corduroy if I want. And I can just do a couple of shadows. My inks are very old. It's all right. See? And I'll come in here. But yeah, we spoke with each other every day. Because he only lived 2 houses away. He was 92 years old. Boy, did he have stories. He had some really amazing life stories. Now I'm just going to come in and help out the edges on here. Just like that. I'm liking that a lot. And if I want to even more, I'll just get some vintage photo. Come in and give it a bit of darker ground. All right, I like that. Now, for my moon, the only yellow I have is this craft ink pad that I believe I got from Amazon. It is not water reactive because it's it says pigment, but we'll see. It doesn't react well, so what I'll do is I'll just grab one of these, see if I can get this off here. Yeah, well, not really, but that's okay. And I'll find my little piece of paper trash. I'll put that back down over, and I'll pick up the yellow, and I'll just tamp that back in. Yes, I could put a layer of white, but it's all good. The moon will be good enough for what I want it to do. See? There's even a light ring around it. All right, so let me close that up. I'm going to dry this. Be right back. All right. I wanted to make sure that the ink was dry. I'm using these. They look like little mushroom grasses or flower grasses. I'm using this fairy and these birds. I know they seem like they're flying several different ways, but it's fine. It's all good. So those are the ones I'm using. I've got them off of Temu. If you put in fairy stamps, they'll pull it up. Oh, and then I'm also using this one. I'll be using this one right here. All right, so I think I'll start with my grasses right here. And I'm going to do that with a archival ink in sepia. I did have a timber brown, but it dried out for some reason. But like I said, my stamps are very old. And let me find something to put on the edge here, so that when I stamp off the edge, it doesn't go on the mat and then I forget about it. So I'm gonna hold it down. Maybe not, because it'll crinkle up. I'm gonna lay this down, leave it there for a second, pick it up, raise it up just a smidge and turn it just a little bit so that there's some in the background, the shadow, which would be your second generation stamping. Okay, do the same thing. I go off, but just make sure I'm touching the edge of the stamp. Put it down, lift it up. I'll go this way a little bit. There's my second generation. Okay. Now this time I'll just go over and maybe up. All right, I'll stamp that off until it comes clean. That looks good. You can see the second generation in the background. And let's see. I still have to figure out which way these birds are flying. It's hard to tell. It really is. We'll go this way. All right. For that, I'm going to use my staz Jet Black. And let's see. I'll go right here. Like that. I'll stamp that off. That looks good so far. And I might just take a mix stick and put a little purple in there. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. And let's see, let me take that off the mat here so that I don't lose them. Here is the fairy. She is, let's see, take her off here. She is 3 1/4 inches tall. I would say almost 2 inches. They're just perfect for small art journals. But we'll see what the quality is like, how long they last and things like that. All right, so I can move this out of the way. It's looking pretty good. So let's get her put on here. I'm going to use the same staz black ink. Cover that up. Let me line her up. Press her down for a little bit. Oops, I think I moved her. That's all right. I can use a black marker, a jelly roll, whatever I want to fix her. Yep, I did. I moved her. That's okay. All right, well, I'll fill her in better. Let me get these inks dried. I'll be right back. Okay, I just went back over her with a black marker, which is no big deal. All right, and then I'm going to take the tiny little stamp that is maybe, let's see, about 2 1/2 inches tall and 1 1/4 wide. Let's see, this one that was on Temu. And I'm going to add some, let's try pink first. Let's see what pink does. I know my friend has left, but we will see each other again. He is hopefully with his wife, dancing in heaven, having a great time. You can see it, but you can't. So let me try it again. Is there any on there? Press down harder. That's better. I probably need new pink. Probably need new everything. Whoops. But there. You have some subtle writing on the side. Maybe I'll do some over here and behind her. But I believe it is never goodbye. It isn't just until we see each other again. That is my little mini art journal page from the journal that I got from Temu. All I did was just replace those brown papers. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Take care. Bye for now.